I'm Zach Rosenfield, Director of Product for the SharePoint AI product. I have a very active YouTube and LinkedIn channel if you want to learn more about what we're going to talk about today. Before we can talk about AI skills, though, we just need to have a really quick intro into what is AI in SharePoint. And so really wanted to hit on this new set of features that are currently in public preview, will be in GA pretty soon. But we have delivered a set of tools that allow you to describe your intent in natural language, and AI will deliver the rest. And so with SharePoint and all the capabilities we've built over the last 25 years, this means you can really turn your ideas into solutions just using your typing or your voice. And so you can build business processes, you can improve your AI enrichments, which allow for better Copilot responses as well as interrogations of data within inside of the SharePoint application. And you work with all the same components that you're used to. So sites, pages, lists, libraries, documents. There are tools available for you to interact with all of that content and really deliver capabilities you might not have even known SharePoint was able to do or didn't know how to do yourself just by asking. So I really like to stress that this is an AI that allows you to do work. This is a plan and do type of AI inside of SharePoint using your natural language. And so the simplest example of this is I can take a library here that has just got a bunch of expenses in it. I can execute these 3 prompts, which are just describing what I want to see. I want to see this data out of these files. I want to see it viewed in a particular way. And I want you to highlight certain invoices that meet criteria. Those 3 prompts will result in this formatted library that allows you to act on top of it in a very clean way. And so this is this really instrumental change in how you interact with your data. It allows you to talk to it and pull information out, build processes with your voice. But there's a big but, it doesn't understand you and your business. And so that is where AI skills come in. And AI skills are a way for you to teach the AI in SharePoint about you, about your team, about your business, and the way you operate. And if you've used any of the sort of AI harnesses out there, Claude Code or GitHub Copilot, you might be familiar with skills. The key difference here when you're thinking about skills in SharePoint is skills are a shared entity. And so these are things you're going to build on behalf of your team that allow you to share knowledge and share how you act across your organization. And so it brings with it some really interesting use cases as well as some interesting capabilities. And we'll try to touch on as many of those as possible here with a quick demo. So let me switch to a browser. And I believe that is up. And so what you see here is just a set of files, and I'm going to access the AI capabilities from this button here in the bottom right corner. You'll see it has some suggestions based on what I'm looking at. So it knows I'm looking at some files. It's suggesting a few things to me. But for skills, we're just going to start by opening up the entire chat pane. And the best way to start with skills is to just talk about how you create them. And so here I'm going to create a simple skill. We'll start basic, where I just tell the AI what our company policy is for file naming. So you can see these files are pretty randomly named, and I'm going to say that our company policy is actually to do this by providing company, customer, product, the date, and then a 1-word, what is this with the extension. And so it's going to come back and suggest a file naming skill that it wants me to create. It gives me some definitions. It tells me examples. I find this really useful. And so you can kind of get a feel for it. And I could go back and forth as much as possible on this, but I'm just going to say go for it because we're doing a demo. But that's essentially it. I've now created a skill that is going to influence how files are named in this site from here on out. Not just for me, but for all users in this site. I can permission skills differently, so I can create skills that are only for certain sets of users based on permissions, and they will only get the skills that they want. But that's it. I've just created this skill. It's ready for us to use. I also want to show how easy it is to update. I can update the skill. Here I'm just saying, hey, let's do camel case for a 1-word descriptor, which sort of a incorrect statement, but the AI is going to be smart enough to figure that out. But this is all it takes for me to go back and forth on updating the skill. So I can continue to reference it over time. that's how the skill is done. I'm going to go ahead and put the skill to use. Let's pick our files here and just say, hey, I want you to review these files, make sure that they align to our company policy. And so if you've seen how skills work, they take triggers. So things like review or make sure, and it's going to go ahead and load the skill. And you'll see it actually telling the user the skill is getting loaded. Super important because we're going to create skills on behalf of the team here. And so, obviously, if your AI starts talking like a pirate and nobody tells you that's because the talk like a pirate skill came in, you'd be pretty confused and concerned. And so we really want to make sure that it's clear to folks what are the skills. There's a quick link to jump over and look at the skill itself. And so this is, I'm loving the chat going by, seeing some finals. I really could have messed with these numbers. The key thing here is the way the policy is set up is it's actually got to understand what these files are. And so here you can see it really iterating through, walking through the set of files in the library to figure out what are these. And so here it's gone ahead and said, current name, proposed name. If we had more time, I would just say yes, and it will rename. Why don't we go ahead and let's do that. See if we can make this all fit in the next 8 minutes while that's running. So while that actually goes, that's a good opportunity for me to go ahead and actually open up the skill so we can take just a quick look at it. So here it is. It is a YAML formatter. So if you look at this in the edit view, you'll see this YAML formatter. This follows the exact same open standard that Anthropic has defined. And so these skills are interchangeable with skills on the market. The key difference here is we do not allow you to execute custom code. So everything except for code is the same. You can reference other files for nesting. You can do yeah, so it's a YAML front manner. There's a question in chat about whether it's not YAML, it's Markdown. It is Markdown from here on down. It's the YAML front matter at the top. Again, just follows the open standard from Anthropic. And then there's this new Markdown editor inside of SharePoint that allows you to have this pretty great experience in terms of reviewing and seeing what those files are and how they work. Okay, so let's go back and see all of our files have been renamed according to our format. We were so quick, we missed it in action, but you can actually see all of the files now fit that exact naming format, and it will automatically apply to anything else we do in this library. So we're going to do 2 more demos. One is another way to really think about how to leverage skills. So as I was saying, I've been posting a lot to YouTube. I'm recording a lot of videos. And so I've created a skill that generates YouTube descriptions because otherwise it's kind of a pain to find all the timestamps for all the important things. But instead of, dealing with that entirely through the chat window, sometimes I want to do that with just a button click. And so what I'm going to do here is actually create an action column with quick steps. I'll say new quick step. Ask SharePoint, and I can just say YouTube description and generate a description of this file. I could choose to filter that to only certain types of files. You can actually automate the extraction of what type of file it is and do some classification. But this is going to actually create a button on that library that I just have to click. It will open up chat and issue the command. So, gotta love live demos. I am in a dog food environment, so one more attempt. Oh, there we go. So I'm gonna hit save, and this adds a button. And so the normal experience for a user will be actually to have this closed. You're gonna go ahead and just click on a file, this YouTube description, and so now I'm hands off the keyboard and mouse. It opens up and issues that prompt, and you'll see here in just a second, it will go ahead and load the YouTube description skill. So again, this is it figuring out what I want to do, pulling that information, and then I could save that to a file. I could save that to list column, which is what I do in my personal flow, kind of however you want to make it work. Here it's gone ahead and actually, extracted all those timestamps. I can copy and paste this right into YouTube, and it's going to work. All right, let's do one more. So I've got this palette image. It's got a bunch of colors. I forget where I generated that from, but I'm going to go ahead and actually have, oops, wrong paste. I'm going to go ahead and have it tell us about the file. We will save that onto a skill, and then we're going to pair that with some other skills to really sort of leverage the best of SharePoint. And so this will take a moment to actually look at the contents of the file. And when it comes back, we will run this piece. I'm just taking a quick. So there's a good question about the Anthropic subprocessor. So my demo here is running on Opus today. We are very committed to ensuring that there is an answer that does not depend on Anthropic by the time we GA. There is, in most environments today, actually already a fallback. So you should, in most places, be able to fall back to a OpenAI model at this time. So we should have a follow-up there to make sure that that's 100% true. I'm want to make sure I'm not getting ahead of my skis, but I think at the moment, if you enable the preview and do not have Anthropic, we will honor that flag and it will use 5.2 instead. So coming back to my demo, what we've done is actually figured out the individual colors that were on that image. It has turned it into this color palette skill. So again, just this skill that will actually apply for all formatting tasks. I'll hit create it. And as soon as that's done, we're going to go over to one of the lists in this library and actually style it. So opportunity for us to put this to use in combination with with the other skills in our environment. So what we have is this agent assets library that gets enabled inside of a site. Within it is the skills folder. Here you can see the unique skills that I have added. So I have a YouTube skill. I have this list formatting skill that I have created. This is a pretty complex skill. It's trained on the PMP data. Pretty amazing stuff that the PMP community has put together. And so we took that information and packaged it into a skill. And so we're going to pair that with the color palette skill, as long as that comes through in time. And we're going to style a library here using that information. So I have this sort of RFP sample library, just has a set of information. I'm going to open up chat and I've got 1 minute. So I'm going to not wait for the palette to come back, but I can go ahead and just say, make this view pretty. And it's going to iterate through all the learnings from the PMP community. It's going to iterate through the skills that we have available to us to lean on that custom knowledge and go ahead and apply it to this use case. And so these are just a few examples of how you can leverage skills. There's a lot of amazing things you can do. And so I spend a lot of time posting stuff every couple of days. Oh, the color palette skill actually made it in. So you can actually see it. It loaded the list formatting skill. It's loading the color palette skill. It's going to reason over the information within the formatting. It's a pretty complicated skill. So it'll actually reference individual files that are in it, trying to minimize the context window that it leverages. And it'll take a little bit of time to run that I'm not going to have time for. So I will finish by just showing a slide that was generated using skills and that color palette from an earlier run of this demo to just link to my YouTube and my LinkedIn profile if you want to see, 10, 20 more examples of ways to use skills. And I'm looking forward to seeing what folks can build with it. So with that, I will hand off to the next demoer. Thank you.